Morning. So this is a very quick video about President Trump's press conference, or presser as you call it in the States, last night, where he talked about the advances in therapeutics for COVID. Before I go into that, I just want to say thanks to Deborah Jane Sutton, who got in touch with me yesterday saying I was getting caught up in the matrix a bit. It was a good reminder. Thank you, Deborah, with my video yesterday. But also I want to thank the new subscribers and all the lovely comments. It's really encouraging, because when you're doing something like this, you don't even know if anybody's listening. So that's fantastic. Thank you very much to everybody. So what was interesting about, I don't know if you saw the press conference last night, but he came out and got some doctors to come out and said, look, we've got this new plasma-based therapeutic that cures 35% of people that get this. And we've got loads more stuff coming under emergency powers. So it's not FDA approved necessarily, but it's got a permission to be given out to people that want it. So you can go and look at the press conference yourself. It's very interesting. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because I was particularly struck by a couple of things that he said. And I'm starting to think, especially after the question the other week about QAnon, that he's maybe got more control over the press now and the questions that are being asked, because somebody asked him, what about the right to try, President Trump? And Trump said, that's a very good question. It's a very good question. It was really, he does, whatever you think of him, he's extremely funny. And the right to try thing, the reason why this stuck with me is because firstly, he's always implied right from the beginning. Don't forget, he's the one who mentioned hydroxychloroquine right at the beginning, right? Which I do believe kills all viruses, the same as chlorine dioxide does. And he said at the beginning that there were technologies like, bleach, which everybody took the piss out of, which is, I think he was referring to chlorine dioxide there, which does work. It says on the package, kills all viruses. it's there for everybody to see. But he also talked about frequency and light therapy and things like that. And I think he's leading towards something. But before I tell you what I think he's leading towards, I think I need to give you my perspective. Because I've been studying this stuff for such a long time, not to say that I'm an expert, it's just my opinion. All of this is my opinion, by the way. There is technology way beyond what we're currently using. Technology has definitely been suppressed. I mean, if you don't believe that, just think about the car. Look at the car you drive now compared to the car 100 years ago. It's basically exactly the same technology, unless you're in a Tesla. But even then, there were electric cars back in the 1920s. So, that's not really an advancement in technology. And then look at the phone in your hand and compare that to just 10 years ago. Technology has definitely been suppressed. And I think they've got huge technology. And, I've studied cancer for many years. Raw Raymond Rife, look him up. He created a machine which had the frequency of every single disease known to man, and he could cure it. And what happened to that? It disappeared. By the way, if you're interested in Raymond Rife, look up Spooky 2, because you can actually build your own Rife machine for about $1,500 with stuff from Tandy. So, that technology is still out there. There's also Wilhelm Reich, who created, well, he didn't create it, but he discovered a thing called orgonite. Well, it was named orgonite. Don't get me up on the semantics, but orgonite is basically metal, organic material. And he was creating cages in the 1950s that were curing people of cancer. And then he ended up dying in prison, I believe, after being arrested and all this stuff. And the history is littered with people that have come up with technologies that have cured all of our diseases. And all of this has been held back from us. And why? Because the Rockefeller Foundation took over the Medical Institute 100 and something years ago, and then took over all the education of doctors, the same way that they took over law and the banking system and the Federal Reserve when they killed all the people that were against it in the Titanic. And the list goes on. The crimes against us are so vast you wouldn't even believe. And so my perspective is that my optimistic perspective is that Trump is at the head of an organization that wants to get rid of this cancer. The real virus is the Illuminati, the deep state, whatever you want to call them. They're the ones that have to go. They're the ones that have been destroying the human race. They're the ones that have been feeding off us like vampiric monsters. So from that perspective, it looked very much last night as if Trump was allowing the way forward for lots of new technology to come out, such as med beds. Look those up. Med beds are light vibrational frequency machines that can cure basically anything. So I was very encouraged by his presser last night, because what he's doing step by step is removing the obstacles for this pandemic to continue. So just a very short one today. I've also just quickly going to tell you I've got some amazing interviews lined up hopefully this week on the subject of crypto, on the subject of demonic entities, and lots of other stuff. So keep tuned, and please share and like and all that other good stuff. And there's an email list down below. If I do get disabled from YouTube, you can stay in touch with what I'm doing there. Oh, finally, thank you to all those people that said I looked run down yesterday. I did. I was very tired. I had a sleepless night the night before, and I've got this zit on my lip, which is really annoying. When you're 51, you get a whitehead on you, so I had to burst it. So if you've seen that, that's, more information than you need. But anyway, I'm going to go for a little walk in the woods, and take care. Lots of love. Bye bye.